It's another lovely Sunday evening. This is Scorecard Live on Citi TV. My name is Daniel Kranting. This is a show that puts perspective to all the sporting action that has happened over the weekend. We'll start with some athletics news from the Commonwealth Games. Not just athletics, but yes, the Commonwealth Games is in action, or was in action over the weekend. We also have some news from the Ghana Premier League playoff. You know, there are 3 teams in the running to replace Ashanti Gold in the Ghana Premier League. Ashanti Gold were demoted. So Busua Drops, Liberty, or Tamale City will have the chance to replace them in the Ghana Premier League. Now, the big news is that the Premier League is back. Arsenal were in action, Man United were in action, everybody was in action. United back to their old habits. Manchester City doing what champions do, starting on a good note. Liverpool, on the other hand, had a very iffy start. We'll give you all that. In Germany also, Bayern Munich, they started as champions do. 6 goals they scored away from home against Frankfurt. Frankfurt is actually supposed to be one of their contenders this season. But Bayern just setting the record straight early on in the season. Dortmund were also in action. They also won their game. Lionel Messi was in action this weekend. Fantastic goal he scored. Bicycle kick. Excellent goal he scored. We'll give you all that in the next hour and 30 minutes. This is Scorecard on Citi TV. My name is Daniel Kranting. We'll take a quick break now. Don't go away. When we come back, we'll start the show. This is Scorecard on Citi TV. My name is Daniel Kranting. This show is also for you. You can join the conversation on the WhatsApp line 0550-585-832, 0550-585-832. Just add +233 if you are texting us from outside Ghana. And on Twitter, you can just use the hashtag Scorecard and I'll read all your messages. Now it's time to introduce my guest, and this man, I've missed him. It's been a very long off-season. He went out for pre-season break. In fact, at the start of pre-season, he was involved with his national team. So we gave him an extended 2-week break. And he's back. Christopher Nimley. Coach Christopher Nimley.
I've missed my show, isn't it?
And I want to ask you this question. How are you feeling?
Chad, I'm good. I know people are watching. The against supporters, they are watching. But the news to them, I'm good as always. It's just 1 out of 38, 37 more to go. Lots of things will be changed. Lots will be fixed. So we are ready to do the show.
We're ready.
I've missed Uncle from Togo, the pastor. Yeah. He should send the messages. Yeah. Those people from Nigeria and Gabon, Gambia, Coach Nimley is back.
He's back.
I needed the break so that I'm going to refresh my battery and come back. Now, fully charged. Some people are misbehaving in Birmingham. We'll deal with them.
We'll get there.
Don't do that.
We'll get there. Also with me here, Susu Graham. Susu, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Charlie, let's start off with the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham. We'll start off on a rather positive note. After the disappointment of the World Championship, there was disappointment, but there was promise from our 2 sprinters, in particular, Benjamin Azamati and Joseph Paul Amwa. Benjamin Azamati ran in the 100-meter final during the week in the Commonwealth Games. He just missed out on the medal. He finished 4th. But then over the weekend, it was time for Joseph Paul Amwa to run in the 200-meter final. He finished with a bronze medal, Ghana's first ever medal in the 200 meters since 1974. Fantastic performance there from Joe Paul. How we have waited. And the young man put smiles on our faces. When I say smiles on our faces, this happened on Saturday night. Now, on Saturday morning, Ghana looked like they had booked the place in the 4x100 meter final. But unfortunately, a few hours after that race, Ghana was disqualified. Why? Because Ghana decided to change the anchor leg runner on the last minute, or that's what it looked like on the last minute. Rashid Saminu, he came in place of Joseph Paul Amwa. Now, according to the rules, Ghana was supposed to notify the race officials at least an hour before the race. Ghana failed to do that, and then Saminu ran. He ran very well. Ghana qualified per time, but then when they reviewed, they found out that the guy who was running wasn't Joseph Paul Amwa. And in our books, Joseph Paul Amwa was the one supposed to run. He didn't notify us an hour before time, so Ghana was disqualified. After years of working hard, these boys had worked, they showed so much promise, they made it to the World Championship final, came back into this Commonwealth Games. Everybody was expecting them to finally be able to put their hands on that medal. And unfortunately, due to the error of the Ghana Athletics Association, these guys were denied even a chance to run for a medal. So sad, Ghana Athletics Association came out with do I even call it an apology? They blamed it on a technical oversight. I don't know how an oversight can be technical, but they said it was a technical oversight that led to that. Coach, how on earth was that possible?
You see, when people think that they can use any form of jargons, serious jargons, to just confuse Ghanaians, then you look at them, then you want to look at them again. Mm-hmm. Are these people serious at all? Do they respect the people of this country? They are not there because they want to be there. We have sent them there to go and represent Ghana, raise the flag of this country very, very high. So for me, I don't understand what? Technical oversight. If I am the sports minister, whoever is in charge of the Ghana Athletics Association, the person who even sat down to write that technical oversight, he should be fired immediately. He should be cleared from, he should never get anywhere closer to any of our team. Are they telling us that after so many months of preparing, of investment into these boys, because of this Commonwealth game, they are telling us that simple notification
that's all
that we have changed because the one who is supposed to run has qualified for the final of the 200 meters, and we are aware that if we can get him a proper rest, we stand to get a medal there. So we are changing. Whose responsibility was it? The moment you switch the name, common sense.
Just notify.
Common sense, which is very common, they usually never common to the common man. They have shown to be very common. They are common people. Look, common sense will tell you that was the semi-final race, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we went through the heat.
It was just a semi-final or the heat and the final.
And the final. So just tell the people.
That's all they had to do.
That so and so person has been replaced by so and so person. And then they say what? Technical oversight. On whose behalf? Is it the organizers of the game? They didn't see what, or they were given the notification and they didn't receive it on time? Or our people didn't notify them? Mm-hmm. For you and I sitting here, it is clear that our people didn't notify them of any change. This is very similar to what has happened to the Ghana Football Association. We sit here in this country. The black maidens, due to another technical nonsense, I will not say oversight, technical nonsense of certain people at the black maidens management team, our girls have been banned.
Yeah.
For how many years?
3 years.
6 years.
That's 2 competitions.
2 competitions. The next time Ghana is to show up again at that level will be in 6 years' time. And as we speak today, even the athletics people, they have seen the need to apologize in written form. The FA, they are rather telling us that they've gotten sponsors for this, which is very good. We applaud them for that. But the level of disrespect that they have shown, not to even see the need to apologize to the people of this country and say we are sorry. Rather, people like Odro Safo and management members have gone about like touting themselves that it is of no fault of theirs. You go and bring a 3rd-year university student, girl, to go and play under 17, and you are caught. And Ghana is disqualified as a result of that. And Keto Kreku, the FA president, wants us to clap for him. So the athletics people too, they have followed suit. Their people in the football are doing same. So the athletics people too, they will follow and misbehave. The fact of the matter is this. They have caused financial loss to the state. Mm-hmm. They are there eating.
And drinking.
Drinking. Free. Only everybody know the extra things that they are doing there.
Diddy free.
Diddy free. For all you know, nobody can you see, when you have people misbehaving like that, and they just come and do anything at all, say anything at all and get away with it. That is the country we have built. The level of indiscipline is so gargantuan that people can do anything and walk away with that. It has taken Ghana how many years to get a medal?
1974.
Look
200
at that.
meters.
Look at that.
It shows you the hard work the young man put
Have we ever gotten any medal in 4x100 before?
What do you think it is?
They have
There was a video of us winning
a very
in
long
like
time ago. It was black
That
and
was
white.
in the 60s.
Yeah.
So for more than 4 or 5 decades, we've never gotten 4x100.
This was a
This
golden
was
opportunity.
a golden opportunity. I told you that for me, once Azamati didn't get the 100 meters medal, I was very certain, and we were all jubilating when we heard they had qualified.
Yeah.
To the final, then at least kwata. Bronze there, we'll bring it home. Kwata, bronze. Technical oversight. We don't even have bronze. But they are there eating, drinking, moving about. Look, they are giving per diem, so. They'll go and spend and do shopping and come. They come and sit in their homes and they'll clap. Look, if drastic action, we have the All African Games here next year.
Yeah.
All those who committed that technical oversight, they should be seen nowhere closer to our team.
You don't want any more technical oversight.
If this is then it will be technical death. They will die and we will not see anything. Don't laugh. If this is technical over, the next time is technical death. They will die. Because how can you do this? What is this? So for me, you see, we will say all that we can say, be a bit. Look, I'm so angry. We saw yesterday when we were when the news came, almost everybody, we were all so angry. I couldn't believe it. When Ebo came and he explained how we got disqualified, I said, what? Who did that? We are waiting for them. When they come,
We'll meet them at the airport.
we'll meet them at the airport. Nobody should go and defend us. Simple. All those who committed that technical oversight, we don't want them to die technically in the future. So all of them, oh yeah, clear them from the team. Because if I am Azamati, that was his only chance of getting a medal.
It's a golden opportunity.
Golden opportunity of getting a medal. And you've just thrown it away.
All his training.
It
all
wasn't
the hard work.
Azamati's, it wasn't the athlete's responsibility. Their responsibility was to get onto the track and run. Those who, how can you change? Were they try to sneak? Is it stealing a sneak or what? I can't believe
It's
it.
just basically sleeping on the job. That's
So they're going to use technical jargons,
That's
technical
basically
oversight.
what it is.
We don't want them to die technically. They should just leave our team for us and then we'll do the rest. They can even call me. After this one, I don't need to be an athletic guru. When I change Susu to Kranti, organizers is no longer Kranti, it's Susu. Finish.
So,
What sort of technical oversight is that?
So-
we don't want them to die technically. They should leave
Maybe
our team
there's a
alone.
special form that they didn't know where to
what
find
is
their
that?
form or something.
I don't think that was an
No,
issue.
but I think Coach has said it all. It's incompetence, plain and simple. They are trying to mask it. But like Coach said, at the very least, they've tried to explain themselves. They've offered some apology. But we should see some punishments concerning the people who messed up. I think that's the very least because this was a very good chance for these boys. They've let them down. They've let 4 people down, mainly, but the whole country as a result of letting these 4 people down. So we should see some punishments.
So the whole tournament, the whole competition, we got how many medals?
So Ghana won 5 medals. 3 came from boxing, 2 came from athletics. The final athletics medal came just this evening. Deborah Akwa in the long jump, she won bronze. So congrats to her. Boxing came with 2 silvers and 1 bronze. The interesting thing about boxing, it's a very funny story. In the boxing, Joseph Kome had qualified for the finals, and on the eve of the final, he fell ill.
Yeah, man, he would have
collapsed.
gotten
He was
us a
taken to
gold
the
because
infirmary. So he had to settle for
he's
silver.
been very consistent.
So
I've watched all his fight and he looks an
painful.
obvious
Yeah,
gold
he was,
medalist.
Yeah, he was one of the actually favorites going into
Boxing
that
too,
final.
they say one of our very highly rated
Yes, he was
boxers.
also doping.
He's doping himself. What sort of people are these?
Coach, they say he was taking medication. He was taking some certain medication.
Who
Isn't that what they say?
Who are the
No,
doctors
but
with
you
the
should
team?
know.
Who are the doctors
The
with the
rules
team?
are there,
Well,
and if
it
he's
looks
taking
like- it looks
medication
like
and advanced substances,
our technical oversights, they were.
oh,
they
you see,
were
it just shows that they are not serious.
They are not
It
serious.
just shows that they are not serious. It just shows they are not serious. But
If
you
you
see,
take a boxer, if you take any athlete,
I remember one of them also didn't make weight, which was even
that's
more
even
disastrous.
more disastrous. If you take athletes from here to go and compete, there's a psychologist, There's a medical team.
Everything is so necessary.
So you the doctors, you didn't know that the prescriptions or the drugs they were taking were banned.
It's shocking. But
what is this?
Talking about the mishaps
Like
that happened
the Black Stars doctor, the one who took Wakato to the
Wakato.
World Cup, injured leg, they took him to the World Cup. You see,
Coach is fine.
No, it's very similar.
It's fine. But talking about the mishap that happened in the 4x100 men's final, Ghana was in the 4x100 women's final, and we have to commend them. They finished 7th, although Nigeria won that final. But this is a new group, and this is their first ever exposure at the international level. They made it to the final after qualifying from their heat. They made it to the final, finished 7th Ghana. But congrats to Nigeria, they won that race. Yeah, so Nigeria winning the 4x100 meter women's final. Very impressive the Nigerians have been. They won the long jump yesterday. It was Essie Broom who won the long jump. Very impressive. Toby Amuson won the 100 meter hurdles. No surprises there. She was actually part of the 4x100.
She started.
Yeah, she started the 4x100 meter women's team. So Nigeria they are doing some
they even won even the discus. You saw the medal in the discus.
Nigeria really impressive.
Even
there was the one that I was watching, the one that they threw.
Yeah,
the
that was
discus.
Yeah.
Yes, man. I think they won, eh?
They won. I think they won women's discus. Even the
women,
physically challenged ones, they medaled in some of those events for physically challenged people.
There is something they are doing right that we can just go and copy and suit our system.
Simple.
Just go and copy, because they don't leave their athletes out there all alone by themselves. I hear when their athletes go to the States and things, they follow them. They invest in their careers, get them top coaches. They don't work. Their work is what they do. The government pays them. So they focus and train. And you can imagine the All African Games. They will be one of the dominant force.
And what
the Kenyans, they'll come and they'll dominate.
Susu?
I think what Coach said is very important. Because if you remember, I think about a few months ago, Deborah Akwa made the same point that she needs some support or she's going to quit. She's medaled here. You can see that the potential. She's just coming out of university. 3rd in the Commonwealth Games. We have to get her that support. So where is the support coming from? And it's a good point Coach has raised, because if the Nigerian government is supporting athletes, making sure they are, kept and stuff. If we did the same for some of our athletes, we can see Deborah Akwa maybe getting an Olympic medal in 4 years.
Exactly.
That kind of thing. So we need to be investing. We need to look at some of these things.
Bottom line, the potential is there, and it's getting annoying. The fact that anytime we show these things, we started from the Olympics to the World Championships to the Commonwealth Games. The basic thing we all talk about, fundamental things, support. The potential is there. They are showing you that if you give them the support, they can medal, they can succeed. So all you have to do is to push them and stop sleeping on the job, honestly. Just stop sleeping on the job. Technical oversight and whatnot. It's really annoying. But let's move the conversation on to the GFA Ghana Premier League playoff game, or the playoffs. And remember, 3 teams are in the gunning, or the running to qualify for the Ghana Premier League. Ashanti Gold were demoted, or they have been demoted into Division 2 for match fixing. So it's between Liberty, Ebusua Dwarfs, and Tamale Cities. These are the results. So Liberty played their opening game. They beat Ebusua Dwarfs by 3-1. Then in their second game, had they beaten Tamale Cities, it would have been qualification for Liberty. But they lost that game, and now the decider will be between Tamale City and Ebusua Dwarfs. Now it's on a league basis. So as it stands, so we can show you the league table now. So as it stands, Liberty are still on top with 3 points. Tamale City, by virtue of beating Liberty, are second. So if Ebusua Dwarfs beats Tamale Cities, that's where it could get tricky. Because now all teams will be on 3 points. And I think to go to head-to-head, then goal difference.
Probably do goal difference first. If Liberty are top right now.
Exactly,
But,
so head-to-head.
but again, look, this thing, Ghana, the people running our football, granted, personally, I've got serious issues with them.
What are the issues with this?
The issues here is that there's no way that Tamale City should be part of this playoff.
Why?
They are from a different zone. They had the opportunity in that zone to qualify. They didn't qualify. They don't come from the same zone as Ash Gold. They don't.
But Coach, you see, the thing is, Ash Gold, okay.
And at the time of that Ash Gold inter-allied problem, they were not affected in any way. To be honest, the two affected teams, in my view, was Ebushanduaf and Liberty Professionals. So if anything at all, it should have been a straight one game between Liberty and Ebushanduaf. Whoever wins it goes and replaces Ashgold. That is what it should have been. Like when you go and bring in somebody who was not affected by the actions of Ashgold at the time, and you go and pick the person from a different zone, there are so many things that we need to talk about here.
Yeah,
My only conclusion is that it's because of votes. Somebody has promised somebody.
Coach, I don't think so.
Oh.
I don't think so. No, you see, because the explanation is simple.
What is the explanation?
The match fixing scandal between Ashgold and Inter Allies is not the reason why Liberty and Ebusua went down.
Okay.
Liberty and Ebusua went down because in the league they were part of the bottom three. That's settled. That's what happened between Ashgold and Inter Allies has nothing to do with them. Why have the second place teams in all the three zones been brought back? Because in terms of rankings, they were second placed in all the three zones. Whether Ashgold are in Tamale City zone or not, it doesn't matter. Because as I said, Ashgold's actions should not be directly advantageous or disadvantageous to anybody in their zone.
Can I say something? I understand where coach is coming from, because the season that Ebusua and Liberty were relegated was tainted by Ashgold's actions. I think that's where he's going. But I think the GFA has decided that because that season was finished, we stood with those results. We went with it. It doesn't matter. So we are going to go based on the fact that we need an extra team promotion.
Then Ashgold should be reinstated.
No.
Because at the end of the day, it is that action that has caused the relegation of
But
Ashgold.
I think, coach,
So
that league table, they left it as it is. They did another league season. And now, because the judgment came out if the judgment had come out, I think right after that season ended, it would have made sense for Liberty and Dwarfs to play, or to keep the person is it 16th? The person who was last on
see,
I don't know
even that, you see, it all comes down to statutes. The GFA can deem it. The ESCO has it in their power.
That is where the problem.
The
issue is.
Coach, let's
the
calm down.
ESCO has given unto themselves, or the people in football, they've given unto themselves
because
certain
this is
powers
important.
that allows them to take certain decisions.
These loopholes are not captured in the statutes, which makes sense for the ESCO to sit down, relax. For the ESCO to sit down and find a feasible way to getting somebody fit. It is like saying that. And I gave this example on Football Made in Ghana. It is like saying that in this company, at the end of every year, after a review, they sack the three less performing employees. Then they sack the employees. Then 2 months into the following year, somebody is sacked for stealing. And you are saying that we should bring back the last person who was sacked. No. You were sacked. Relax. You were sacked because you were underperforming. The other person's actions has nothing to do with you. So it's down to management to decide who will take your place. It is not that you went down because you were relegated and somebody else has been taken out because of something that has nothing to do with performance.
No. It doesn't work like that. Even here, if you were to sack the three, let's say, least performing employees, they all can never come out with the same percentage. Maybe they'll say if you fall below 50,
yes,
you are sacked. But below the 50, Sasuya will be scoring something 37. I'll be scoring something 45. Maybe you 49.
Yes.
We've all fell below 50.
But my 49,
so
I can't
your
come
49,
and say,
you are better than me.
Yes, but I can't come and say Citi should take me back.
No, Citi should
rather
rather say
the person who was sacked for stealing. No,
Citi should rather say you.
No,
because of the three least sacked, you are the one with the most percentage.
No,
the bottom line is because of voting.
You cannot say it. You can't say that.
There's some sense in what they've done.
You can't say that.
As they play this season, because they've relegated 3 teams this year. They've promoted 3 teams. So they've also relegated Ashgold in addition. So now it's become 4.
So in that zone, there's going to be numerical disadvantage. Maybe let's go on. Next time we'll talk about it.
Coach has a point about
in that zone, numerically,
that's
going to affect somebody.
But I don't think there's anything wrong with this.
I don't think at the end of the day, one zone would have 2 promoted teams, which shouldn't be. And in terms of numbers of the next season, that zone will be short of 1. Or they are going to go to the second division and promote.
They have to promote someone from the second division.
There you go. So they promote from the tier 2.
No, but that's where Ashgold have gone.
There's another playoff that is going to cater for Inter Allies demotion. So that will also make sense. So
these people, They are not serious.
I don't.
Okay, that's you. But they are not.
But let's go for a commercial break. When we come back, we'll dive into the Premier League. Remember, Man United lost. Yes, we'll show you the highlights for that one. This is Scorecard on Citi TV. My name is Daniel Cranting. Don't go away. This is Scorecard on Citi TV. My name is Daniel Cranting. Let me read some of the messages that have come through the WhatsApp line 0550585832. This one from Jude inside Kakasonanka number 1. He says, so this defensive pair, Man United, is this a defensive pair Man United will play against Brentford? He says, Ivan Toney will jump over the Argentine Hasbulla. He says, they better play him in a midfield pair and play Maguire and Varane in defense. Isa Ibrahim from Takwa, he says, we are not serious in this country at all. And he says, and the president made a promise to the people of making the central region a football country. And he says, I can understand this message. Let's move on. This one's from Nana Kwame. He says, in every sports competition, the rules and regulations are given to the participating federations. So the coaches are given orientations to be abreast with the rules and the regulations governing the competition. He said, for the Ghanaian coaches and officials to tell Ghanaians they made a mistake and it was a technical oversight, it's just mediocrity and beer bar talk. They should be fired on their return. This one is, okay, no name. He says, coach said it on regular basis that if the McFred combo is a no, and they proved him right once again. We don't have a right back, and Malacia should start the next game. I think Maguire looked good today. We will come good. Glory, glory, Man United, he says, but with no name. You are not bold. Kwame Wisty inside of Hafo region. He says, in fact, you guys are doing a great job. Keep it up. He says, Ghana leaders, honestly speaking, all these people must be fired. He says, before they get here. And that's from Sami. Lagos boy inside Binduri constituency in the Upper East region. He says, such lethargic display. He said, when we have the courage to get rid of the dead woods, into brackets, Shaw, Maguire, Rashford, Fred, McTominay. He says, they dishonor the badge. He's talking about Man United. Clearly seen he's very disappointed. Hi, this is Isaac from Kufuridia. He says, good to see my darling club Chelsea get to a good start. He says, greetings to myself, coach, the crew. He says, it's Abunkle United are once again at it. He says, new players, new coach, same Man United. Ademola inside Oyibi. He says, you see the consequences of our indiscipline and our unprofessional attitude. People misbehave in this country and we applaud them and reward and elevate them to positions of high office. He says, rules are rules. It's a pity our hardworking athletes are affected by the decision. This one is from Osman Husu Tijani from the Upper West region. He says, good evening, he loves our show. Thank you very much. He says, coach, what is happening to Manchester United? We'll get there. Hi, Daniel. Greetings from... He says, I should greet all Arsenal fans for you. Hello, Arsenal fans. That's from Basiru inside Tamale. Coach Nimli will kill person. That's from Saleh Al-Hassan inside Brekum. This one is coming from... Sorry, when you send the messages, add your name. Why? But coach, he's basically saying he's missing you. Ernest inside Kumasi. He says, a great show by all standards. We would like to plead with our management to have Sports Panorama on TV so that the people in Kumasi can also view. But Sports Panorama is streamed on YouTube. So if you want to watch it, you can just join the link on YouTube every Friday, 7 p.m. live on our YouTube channel, Citi Sports Ghana. So subscribe and turn on the notifications. Yes, so these are messages coming from WhatsApp. Let me read a couple from Twitter. This one is coming from Pelo. He says, the GA people, they should come and respond. And the response is technical oversight. It means, he said, this really hurts. He said, but Coach Chris is not giving them many space at all. That is very true. And they deserve it because I was just poor. This one is coming from Samuel Kwame Ayaba. He says, I learned Man United players each got 10 hugs. Yeah, funny. Nocturnal, he says, common sense which should have been common to common people was not common. He said, hey, Coach Nimli. He said, I bought plus a GA. But he says, he should cool down. He's not cooling down.
He's not serious. He's not serious.
He's not cooling down.
People have just blundered. I think that has taken over 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 decades.
Edward Cheyakutia, he says, why is the FA using the zone in which Inter-Allies is going to be promoted? Basically reiterating a coach's point. He said, this is coming from Papa Asumedu. He says, what would have happened if Ashgold won the league that year? Won the trophy, have automatically gone to the second place team.
It would have.
Okay.
That's what they did in Italy.
Otis Rabba Sadat. He says this season is going to be great. My beloved Arsenal has started on a good note. I hope it ends well. But seriously, he says I'm going to miss the scorecard and sport crew, especially coach. Namely, he's posted a picture of himself in front of the Emirates. Don't worry, wherever you are, you can watch the show. This show is streamed on citytvonline.com. So even if you are in the Emirates Arsenal London, you can watch Sports Panorama. As I said, it's also streamed on our YouTube channel. So don't worry at all. Wherever you are, even if you are in space, there's internet in space, right?
Something like that.
That's how they talk to them, I think.
Yeah, so don't worry. Wherever you are, you can watch. There's no problems at all. But let's move on. Let's do some Premier League now. Let's start off with Arsenal. They started off the season. The 2022-23 Premier League season is back. Arsenal, after finishing 5th, agonizingly close to the top 4. They started on a good note. Gabriel Jesus didn't score. The preseason champion didn't get off to a good start. But Arsenal still won. 2-0. They beat Crystal Palace away from home. Obiashe Ongo, who say excellent play. Gehi with an own goal, getting the second goal for Arsenal. FPL-wise, Saka will get the assist, so it doesn't really matter. But yes, Arsenal won by 2-0. Susu, impressive performance. They did very well in preseason. Asserted their dominance early on in this game, got the win. They struggled a bit in the second half, but this is a good sign. The fact that they're able to grind out the result.
Oh yeah, and especially considering that Palace took 4 points from them last season, you know. They really struggled against Palace last season. So we are seeing a different level because they upped the intensity. The first half especially was very good. The first 30 minutes, they suffocated Palace. Palace couldn't get out. I want to see that intensity for 90 minutes rather than 30 minutes because in the remaining 60 minutes, Palace had chances. Edouard and Eze especially, they should have taken those chances. More Eze because he had control of the ball, he had time, and he didn't really test Ramsey. But Ramsey did what he had to do in those situations. The ball was straight at him, but you still have to stop it. So everyone did what they had to do. But I think Arsenal's attack didn't create as many clear-cut chances as you would have liked. But aside that, I think it was a good performance, and it's a promising start.
Let's go to Liverpool now. Last season's second place team. They missed out on the title by just 1 point last season. They beat Manchester City last week in the Community Shield, their first competitive game of the season. They were hoping to start their Premier League campaign on a high. They were facing new boys Fulham with manager Marco Silva. Last time he was in the Premier League, he was getting a sack letter. But Liverpool failed to do so. Fulham with an inspired performance. That game ended 2-2. That was close from Henderson. Almost the winner there. The crossbar coming to Fulham's rescue. Inspired performance there from Fulham. But later on in the day, Chelsea, Thomas Tuchel's Chelsea with their new signings, Sterling, Koulibaly, Kukurea, they say it was Kukudu. They were in action against their former player who is now a manager of, and former player and former manager, Frank Lampard. He now manages Everton. Chelsea just scraped through Jorginho penalty, giving Chelsea a 1-0 win. So Chelsea taking a 1-0 win away at Everton on opening day. Guys, let me start with you, Susu. On the Liverpool game, not the result. The club criticized his players' attitude throughout the game. He says the only good thing about the game was the result. And they also blamed the pitch for being too dry.
Well, he's right about that. They didn't lose, so at least it's 1 point. You can be optimistic and say 1 point gain, but it's Fulham, a newly promoted team. You finished second, you got 90, how many points last season? You'd expect a clean, easy victory. But again, we saw last season, Brentford gave them a lot of trouble. So maybe Liverpool and the newly promoted teams, there's something there. But Fulham played very well. I think Mitrovic had a very good game, not just because he scored, but we've complained about Mitrovic being too slow for the Premier League, not being able to keep up. But he was very agile. He was showing some twinkle feet. He gave Matip one dribble in the midfield. He gave Van Dijk two, little shimmies, and he eventually won the penalty. I know some people say it's not a penalty, he dived, it's very soft, but...
Who says it's not a penalty?
Oh, we've been hearing, and that's why I'm coming,
okay.
They call me Mr. VAR, so I'm coming for them. So the truth is, a penalty like that, once there's contact, even if it's a slight bit of contact and it's given, the VAR can't overturn it. It's not enough evidence. If there was no contact, they would have said, okay, this is a dive, we'll overturn the penalty. Clear and obvious error.
Clear.
Exactly, but their knees clashed, and I thought it was a very soft penalty, but soft doesn't mean it shouldn't be given. So fairly given, fairly scored, and it was what Fulham deserved because they really put pressure on Liverpool. They didn't seem like a newly promoted team. They seemed like they knew what they were doing. They seemed like they've been here before. And it was good to see Mitrovic because he scored 43 goals in the Championship. The season before, he scored only 3 in the Premier League. So people were doubting whether he was a striker for this level. But I can see double figures for him this season. It's going to be a good season for him. For Liverpool, maybe the issue of starting Firmino, they maybe should have started Darwin Núñez because he looked very lively when he came on. When he came on, Liverpool just looked fresher. The ball was getting closer to goal. He nearly scored twice, 2 or 3 times. He scored and assisted. So maybe Firmino's time is really up, or maybe it's for certain games. But Núñez should be starting within the month at the very latest, if not next week.
For me, that penalty was clear. But coach, talk to me about Chelsea. They also got a penalty in a very interesting jersey also.
Yeah, I think one thing that we need to note is the fact that this is the second strip of Chelsea. That jersey looks like a lady's blouse. They should pack it somewhere and then go for the third one, which is a bit decent.
But coach, the Chelsea women's team also use it, so isn't that?
But the men should not be wearing this one. It's not nice. Can't you see? It looks like a lady blouse and all that. By the way,
I like the colors.
Yeah? You like that?
Oh, the colors are nice.
Okay.
On the game now.
On the game itself. Look, to be honest with you, Chelsea didn't play well. But this is game number 1. So if I'm the manager, I'll take a 1-0 victory. 3 points in the back. And then quickly get back to the training ground and try and correct the things that didn't go well. The one thing that is that clear with this Chelsea team, you may be a Chelsea fan. Maybe you don't want to be honest. You don't want to hear this. The fact of the matter is there are serious issues with this Chelsea team.
How serious? Defensively,
they've got issues. You see, if you add Aspilicueta, Koulibaly, and Thiago Silva, the 3 men, they are over 100 years. And yesterday, in about 70 minutes, Koulibaly started complaining. I've requested for a sample. I need to take to the lab. By Wednesday, I'll diagnose him and tell whether he's been infected or he's brought a new thing from somewhere that we need to look at.
But in fact, maybe the new one is more likely because the old infected. Rudiger is gone.
No, but he could leave traces of that in the dressing room, and that could create problems for them.
Coach, for the
because
new viewers,
if you look,
what did Rudiger take with him?
Includism.
What is includism?
Includism is when, after being asked to stretch for some time, running, then you see, you just hold your... we saw that in Thiago Silva yesterday.
We saw it, eh?
Yes. Koulibaly couldn't last 90 minutes. For him, he's a very physical defender. So this league will expose the fact that his body is not what it used to be. Thiago Silva, he's almost 39 years. He cannot last the duration. You see, it is a World Cup year. So the demands of the league, the World Cup, the Champions League, the FA Cup, clearly tells you that Chelsea will need to get a younger defender in and among these guys. So I understand.
But Chalobah is there.
He is not experienced. We all know him. He will play at his age. Lot of inconsistency in his game, so you cannot rely on him. So they need to go and get a younger, well-exposed player. So I understand why they want to go and get Fofana. Pay about 85 million for Fofana. That is the price tag Leicester has put on the thing. So you either pay it or you leave it. Now, if you look at the way Chelsea themselves are playing, they need a striker. They need a natural goal scorer. And I've sat on this show severally, and I've said, the idea of saying Lukaku should adjust was very wrong on the part of the manager. And that is why Lukaku was bent on leaving and he's left. He said, look, when I met with Thomas Tuchel, he never told me that I will have to adjust to fit into the system. He said, they will play to my strength and that will bring the best out of me. Unfortunately, he came to the team, it's about him adjusting. So he's come back. Look at what Pep Guardiola has done with Haaland. Man City are not going to ask Erling Haaland to adjust. Today, whoever watched the game of Man City clearly saw that they were playing to the strength of Haaland. And that is what you do when you have a marksman there. Kai Havertz is not a number 9. Chelsea have become so predictable that this season, I say here emphatically, if they don't buy a striker and a defender, before the transfer window ends, I don't expect Thomas Tuchel to be in a job at the end of the season. Because the demands will be such that he will fall short, and that American man,
Todd Bowley,
will have to fire him quick. Because this sort of football, where you do almost everything in front of the opposition. But for that very rash tackle, we saw the highlight. They didn't create any decent chance at all because the football was done in front of the Everton's wall. But if you had a number 9 like Haaland, and you are playing to their strength, they occupy the 2 centre backs, and you've got a room to penetrate. So at the end of the day, Jorginho, Ababase, N'Golo Kante, you know he will not last the season. Nkrodo will set in. All these factors will have, that is why the goals will have to be wise. Today, if they don't know, Timo Werner is gone back to Leipzig. He would have done a lot of running, taking defenders away from their position for the Mason Mount and co to pounce. Now, there's nothing of the sort. So that means that quickly they have to go into the market. So the idea of trying to buy Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang from Barcelona absolutely makes sense to me. And I'm very certain that Thomas Tuchel would have looked at his team and said, look, the earlier they go to Barcelona, it is Aubameyang they should go and buy and not Frankie de Jong. They should go and buy Fofana and not Frankie de Jong.
Why not Frankie de Jong? But Chelsea's midfield lacks creativity. Jorginho, Kovacic,
there's Jorginho. There's Kovacic.
They're not creative.
I'm coming. There's N'Golo Kante. There's Loftus-Cheek. There is Gallagher. If they buy a good striker, Kai Havertz drops back as a proper number 10, where he can now begin to do his do. Then he will create for them. There's Pulisic. They have a lot of creativity. But you address your urgent need before you think about side issues. The urgent need now of this Chelsea team, they need a striker. They need a young centre-back that will help complement the mileage in the legs of Koulibaly and Thiago Silva. And again, Aspilicueta, don't forget, the 3 of them, 101 years. It's unacceptable at this level. So they need to refresh in the team. If they can do that and try and play to the strength of their number 9, where he will be targeted to put the ball on. Aubameyang, if he walks into this Chelsea team, he will score goals with cheeky ease, minimum 20. And that means Chelsea are going to compete for the league title. But until that is addressed, I don't see them going anywhere.
Coach, I have a small disagreement with you. I think you can't buy experience. I think the age factor, if they are rotated well and you bring Chaluba in
if you don't have the numbers, how can you rotate?
Oh, that's what I'm saying. If Chaluba comes in here, he can be learning on the job from elder statesmen like that. I don't think Chaluba will get a chance like that to learn from such players.
The standard set
by Man City.
If you they've gone. And Toboli, how much has he spent? He spent over 150, 60 million already. So Fofana will come, 85. Shoot the price.
I think Fofana is going to be closer to 100 because I think they've already rejected 80.
So like 85, 90, 200 plus. Where are you going to get that money from? If you can do that.
But it's not your money. They've not told you they don't have money.
No, but you cannot buy Fofana 85. No, as Fofana, I know they will buy him. But they cannot buy him. Maybe Aubameyang will cost them about 10 million. That will add up, let's say, roughly the 2 of them, 100 million. If you add to Koulibaly, Raheem Sterling, the Cucurella, Kukurudu boy, and then the small boy, the Chukwuemeka, it's more than 250 million. But then you go and get another 80 million for the young. They go bankruptcy quick.
It's not your money anyway.
They don't have that money to spend.
Let's go to Tottenham Hotspur. They were also in action against Southampton last season. Antonio Conte turned their season around, finished them in top 4. They are in the Champions League. Their opening game in front of their home fans. They went behind, but it was no problem. Kane and Son didn't come to the party, but Kulusevski was there. Spurs won by 4-1. Kulusevski on fire, Tottenham Hotspur winning by 4-1. Susu, impressive start from Antonio Conte's men.
Of course, my title winners are doing it as I expected, and they've not even.
Susu predicted Tottenham to win.
And their 2 best players have not even gotten going, so I'm very excited. Kulusevski was cooking, he was serving a meal. Swedish sausages, the one they serve, Swedish meatballs, 7 Swedish meatballs. I didn't even wear a Sweden shirt. I was so excited. That's how well they played, but. on a more serious note, you could see the directness, the power, the energy. They were relentless. They kept putting the ball into the box, into dangerous areas. We saw Son and Kane get a chance here and there. It didn't work out for them. But that's an encouraging sign, because you said the same thing about Haaland. He was getting the chances. He would score. He scored 2 today. So Spurs are off to a good start. I maintain they will win the league, even though I'm seeing City are looking very fire. But there is a good start. And because of their performance in the big games last season, we saw they did the double over Man City. We saw how much trouble they gave Liverpool in the second half of the season. They drew both games against Liverpool. I think this might be their year.
If Spurs were to win the league, I'll fly you to the States. I'll buy you a plane ticket for you to go on holidays. Of course, I can afford that.
Okay. This is on record.
Yes, I will speak to 2 of my bosses and they will fly.
This is on record. Quick. It's on record. Quick. This is scorecard on Citi TV. I know what you are waiting for. Don't worry. After the break, we'll show you Manchester United's defeat against Brighton and Manchester City's win at West Ham. Don't go away. This is scorecard on Citi TV. Watching scorecard on Citi TV. My name is Daniel Cranting. I'm doing this with Coach Christopher Nimley and Susu Graham. Let me read some of the messages that have come through the WhatsApp line 0550585832. This one is from Eddie at TV from Lome, Togo. He says, I would like to welcome back all of you. My regards to Coach Nimley and Mr. Cranting. He says, all the major European football leagues have just started and the FIFA World Cup is also near. Viva football, merci beaucoup. Why do you not add your name? This one says, does it really happen that a leader will fail to do his work and gently resign? Has it ever happened in Ghana before? This lackadaisical attitude of Ghanaian leaders and their sorrowful attitude of always pleading sorry is very awful. Can this country ever see the light? That is true. This sort of error, and he's talking about the GA issue. You should just humbly walk away. Castro Steve from China, he says, he's watching from China. Oh, nice. He says preseason is over. Some of the Europa guys took a preseason seriously because as if it was a World Cup final, now they are feeling the heat. You know who you are talking about, don't worry. Dodu says, despite coach being a Man United fan, I love him because he always says the truth. Best from Nigeria, he says, I love this show too much, or so much. He said Manchester United will win the league. Hey! He's being sarcastic.
This one, we'll take him to Mars. If I'm going to America, he'll go to Mars.
Courage Hunter from Suhum. He says, Man United is like Hercules in pre-season and Shatabando in real life. That's a good one. OBG inside USA, United States of Ajumako. He says he's waiting for Coach Bite on Man United's performance. Coming soon. City Sports. He says, hi City Sports. This is from Nanaya from Guaso. He says, I think Nimley should apologize to Coach Ole Gunnar Solskjaer for his constant criticism when he was a United coach. He says ever since Ole was sacked, we've seen that he was not the problem, which confirms the fact that Ole was not the problem by United. Okay, we hear you. Keep the messages coming through. The WhatsApp line is on your screen, 0550585832. Just add +233 if you are texting us from outside Ghana, or hashtag scorecard on Twitter, and we'll read all your messages. Now it's showtime. This is what you've been waiting for. I'm going to show it to you. Man United's opening game against Brighton in the Premier League. Ten Hag's side had a fantastic pre-season, but it was welcome to the Premier League for Eric Ten Hag. Kind courtesy Graham Potter. Brighton came to Old Trafford, stole the 3 points. 2-1, they beat Man United. Brighton beat Man U by 2-1. Coach, people say they are waiting for you. So
yeah, they are waiting for me, so I promise I will not disappoint them as well. Look,
explain.
We watched the game, okay? The fact of the matter still remains that United will have to go and buy players. These boys will not change overnight. They've gone past the developmental stages of the game. So pick on the list is that McFred combo. Look, I've stopped playing football, but during my heydays, those days, in midfield, I would never receive the ball
Charlie,
with my body fully facing one direction.
No. Flexibility.
Anytime the ball comes to me, there's supposed to be a half turn. A half turn.
Half turn.
A half turn.
Half turn.
This is what a half turn does. If you receive the ball on a half turn, it enables you to see forward and backwards. Your main reason why for receiving the ball on the half turn is to enable you progress the ball. So if you turn half on the reception, if there's nobody obstructing you, turn and go. But I could count the number of times that Fred and McTominay received the ball from Maguire or from Martinez with their body shape completely wrong. This is what that does. It prevented them from playing to Bruno and Eriksen, and therefore from playing the ball to Rashford and Jadon Sancho. There was a scene when Martinez picked up the ball. He passed the ball to Fred, and he told Fred, pass the ball this way, because Fred's body shape was so wrong. He had to give the ball back to Martinez. And Martinez I said, go this way. This is a 29-year-old who is a Brazilian international and is still being coached. The basics of football. A Manchester United midfielder. The simple question that the Glazers, today, the main one was, what's the name? Joe. He ties his hair like Duku, the Sima Jolly at the back. I was happy he was there, laughing like that, looking on. It's clear you need to dish out the cash. There is cash. This is by far the richest team in the world. You cannot have a McTominay who can... Look, McTominay will not walk into the City team, Liverpool, Spurs, Chelsea, Arsenal, Everton, maybe a Bournemouth.
He plays centre-back for Scotland.
Where have they gotten to? Zuku. So he will not go there. And as for Fred, at times I don't blame him, okay? Because he's been asked to play a role that he never plays. He just don't have the idea to do so. When we're doing the game already, I said that for United to raise the bar, they need to bring in a minimum of 4 players. Having signed Eriksen, Malacia, and Martinez. Why do I say so? Martinez is not a replacement for any of those guys who've exited. Malacia is to compete with Luke Shaw. Telles has gone. Eriksen directly replaces Juan Mata. So you've not replaced Pogba. You've not replaced Matic. You've not replaced Lingard. You've not replaced Cavani. These guys were 4 first-team regulars. Cavani, anytime he was fit, he plays. Pogba, if he's fit, and untouchable. Matic, Asabwen, and untouchable. Lingard, maybe due to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but he was one of the first-team players. So now, the people at United knew that they needed to invest in this team to get the team to compete. As it stands today, if they don't bring in a minimum of 3 or 4 players, they will not even finish 6th in the league.
No, but coach, to be fair, Martinez has come in.
Yes.
Malacia has come in.
Yes.
Eriksen has come
Yes.
in. If you look at the spending under the Glazers, only Manchester City, I think, has spent more than Man United. So, for me, sometimes when people talk
You are
about
talking about the future.
No, I'm talking about
Now?
the past and now.
If you
No,
give
but
the
now-
maybe
Yeah,
the last
the
10
last
years.
like 10 years.
No, see-
So for me, when people talk about the Glazers, I think it's a bit misplaced
I'm
because they
saying-
are making the money available.
No.
It is who they are buying that is the problem.
No. You see, they've made money available. We didn't reap any benefit from that.
And how is that their fault?
So that is past and gone. They should make the money available now.
No, but you see, coach.
You see, you can't change the past.
Yes, but
can only work
see, coach,
on change.
coach, before you continue, this is a businessman, somebody who's bought a team. If I've made this amount of money available for you, and every season you are signing players, 80 million Maguire, 89 million Pogba, 75 million Sancho.
Who signed those players?
That's the thing. But
Ed
they've-
Woodward.
Yes, but they've made money available.
No, but
and
you
they are
see-
not reaping
and I'm
benefits.
saying-
So for you to say now they should make cash available again,
The
from a
team-
business point of view,
you
it can
see-
be a bit
you see,
difficult for them.
Football is not about, yes, there's a business aspect. A team like Man U, we don't struggle to make business. We don't struggle to make money. We don't. So what I'm saying is, if you spend 1 billion ago, the team is in the 8th worst state ever in the team's history. Because last season was the worst performance of this team in Premier League history. So this is the time you have to spend good money. A new manager comes in. He says all the scouts that you've got, they are all Dukadaya, Zuku. All of them, the players they recommended, Dukadaya. He sacked all of them, Ten Hag. He sacked all the scouts and never worked with any of his recommendation or their recommendation. He said, get me Anthony, get me De Jong. Look, today, tactically, when Fred was taken off and Eriksen was brought back to come and dictate the tempo, look at the difference in class. Look at the difference in class. That was where United controlled possession. When McTominay was substituted, I said, I'm happy for Ten Hag because Van der Beek will get his chance. When Van der Beek came on, look at the transitional play of the team in the attacking third. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely mobile. Everybody was touching the ball in and out. This team needs a striker. This team needs another right full back. This team needs a right winger who naturally should be left-footed, and that is Anderson. I hear today they've gone to do some inquiries on Leroy Sané. If you don't get Anderson and Anthony, and you can get Leroy Sané, that is another good player who can come and do a very decent job. And then this team need the almighty Frankie de Jong.
Coach, before you continue, Fred and McTominay are not the coaches, right?
Yes, they are not.
They are not coaches. They don't select themselves. Where I feel the manager has control over, and we saw it in preseason. This Eriksen coming down to play in deep, we saw it in preseason. The Real Vallecano match, he played deep in midfield. And he played there because you could clearly see that Ten Hag wasn't too impressed with Fred and McTominay. So for Fred and McTominay to come out and start the opening game of the season for 60 minutes, I don't think it's their fault.
No, you see?
Because there were options.
Yes,
the fact that Eriksen can play there, the fact that you've bought a centre-back in Lisandro Martinez, who can also play as a defensive midfielder.
Ten Hag said that he wouldn't play Martinez in midfield. He categorically said that. I read it somewhere that
tactically, the reason why he did that.
That's my point, because
the reason why he did that
Coach,
today,
is Martinez a better DM than Fred and McTominay? Yes or no?
Yes, he is. But
So
I'm coming. The reason why he did that today, I've been trying to read into the mind. Because Martial wasn't fit and Ronaldo wasn't fit. I think that if one of the strikers were available, there's no way he was going to play with Fred and McTominay. Because Eriksen walked straight into this team. He's a starter. Bruno is a starter. Jadon Sancho. So because per the tactics of the day, one of Eriksen and Bruno were to be playing as a false number 9. So that meant that you needed another player in the middle of the park. So he went for those guys. You see, the basic truth is that Fred and McTominay, who are supposed to be DM, they don't even protect the back four. But look, nobody should worry. It's 1 out of 38, isn't it?
Yeah.
37 more to go. There will be ups and downs. United is going through a rebuilding process. United will not fix all the problem in this summer. But I'm saying that give this manager at least 3 more signings before the 1st of September. If you can get those 3 more, there should not be any signing at all. I like the stand Erik Ten Hag has taken on the matter. You give me what you want, or I work with what I have. There's no plan B. Man United should not be getting the plan B or a plan C.
So, Coach, you're saying that if United doesn't get Frankie de Jong, it is okay to continue.
Yeah, he should continue. I would have
Fred and
continued.
McTominay.
No, but at the end of the day, the other player who you are talking about, Ruben Diaz, Ruben Neves, is as equally expensive as Frankie de Jong. Wolves will not take anything less than £75 million.
Coach, so he's saying that there's no player on this planet who can do what Frankie de Jong can do.
Currently, there's no better progressor of the ball. Man United need a player who will progress the ball in space, move with it, draw opponents onto them, and then let's go off the passes.
But could if you have no one doing it right now, shouldn't you get someone who can even do it? Let's say Frankie is a 10.
If
Why
the
don't
West,
you get someone who can do 7?
If the West comes to West, if it comes to West, go and pay the money that Barcelona owes the boy and pull him over. Because he's in there to do a specific job. If the West, he's 25 years. If you tell Barcelona that, look, take the 70 million, Frankie, take 10 million for now. In 2 years, I'll pay you the other 7 million. But come on you see, £350,000 a week. you have to back.
He's earning 400,000 now, so he won't take a wage cut.
No, but he will. He will take a wage. Not at Barcelona, but he's been more treated there. You need to back the manager. That is who he is.
The guy is happily playing preseason games.
You see, Van Gaal will tell him that if he's the best player in the Dutch national team by far. Everything at the national level revolves around Frankie de Jong. The people of Netherlands will not allow that to happen. There are people calling him. Now look, you better move. Because at the end of the day, those people, those Catalan people, they've said it all. Xavi, you go and play your centre back. If you really think you are centre, they wouldn't have gone for Koundé. Which means that you are going to see. Who told you that Xavi will not play Busquets, Gavi and the other boy?
Pedri. Frankie de Jong will play. He will play. And he knows he will play.
Peripherally.
He will play.
There's Frank Kessie.
He will play.
Now they can't register players.
He was whatever the case is. Let's move on. The champions Manchester City were in action. Their new boy Erling Haaland announced himself in the Premier League. A brace on the opening day against West Ham away from home. City won by 2-0. Erling Haaland, classic player, super striker, lethal striker. Last week somebody was talking about him. He's bound to talk.
Oh, but I said that.
You said what?
Go and watch the video.
No, last week you said he's
I
what?
said that he will score. I said that he will score. That the chances will come. Don't do this. DK, don't do this. Go and watch the video.
Relax. Did you say he was Scandinavian?
I said it, and I also later clarified. But Lukaku is a great striker. So what's wrong with being a
Scandinavian Lukaku?
Of course.
So you said okay.
This boy.
Now give me your impressions on the game.
Oh, and I said later. No, I don't like what you're doing. I don't like what you're doing. I also clarified that he will score a lot of goals this season. I clarified. So please, let the record.
So you will not give your impressions on the game?
No, I won't give my impressions. I don't like how I've been attacked.
The fact of the matter is, this is a team that is playing to the strength of their main man.
Mm-hmm. So he will score.
We didn't see Chelsea do this to Lukaku, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Look at the 2 goals. Anytime he's on the move, look at the intensity with which he moves. Anytime he does this, go. Anytime, go. The 2 goals. The penalty, when you watch the ball again, his back was facing the goal, but the moment the ball went to Gundogan, he just turned. And the moment he did that, he just rolled the ball, and there he was. Again, in the second goal, the moment the ball went to Kevin De Bruyne, he just went. And the ball is played there. This is playing to the strength of your main man. But he will score a minimum of 25 goals. Take it from me.
So Manchester City look very impressive. Oh, yeah. Last week they were a bit iffy, but it looks like they've understood the player now and they are getting close.
Oh yeah, we barely saw those balls in behind. In fact, the community showed if you watch it closely, he will run, he won't do anything, he will throw his hands. We saw it a lot. This game, it happened a few times. Don't get me, because it happens to every striker. It's not every run they'll pass.
Of course.
But this time you were seeing the ball was being rolled in. Yes. So Gundogan rolled one. De Bruyne rolled one. Even in his post-match interview, he said that, look, if I had stayed on, Gundogan rolled another one. If I was there, I would have scored it. So
he said it.
Once the ball is coming like that, and they're also playing those balls across for him,
he will score.
The goals will come.
Let's go to Germany now. One man left the Premier League, Sadio Mane, the king of Africa. He's going to announce himself in the German Bundesliga. Last week, he scored in the Super Cup. This week, he was on target again as the German champions, Bayern Munich, away from home. They beat Frankfurt by 6-1. Yeah, so an early goal for Adeyemi on his debut, giving Dortmund all 3 points there. Guys, Susu, impressive?
Oh yeah, you have to get the results, and especially considering everything that's happened to Halle. They've lost the person they really expected to come through with their goals. So there's a lot of weight on the young man's shoulders to step up. He was great for Salzburg. We saw him in the Champions League. He was a very interesting player. To be interesting to see how he's used at Dortmund, but I expect big things. I expect something like a Haaland trajectory. He's going to play well and get a big move soon.
Yeah, all too soon. The program has ended. We'll be back here again next Sunday, same time, 9 p.m. with Scorecard. Thank you for your time. My name is Daniel Kranting. I did this with Coach Christopher Nimley and Susu Graham. Again, we'll meet again. Of course, keep watching Citi TV. I'll be back here next Sunday. Don't worry.